This is an update video on my big, complex vivarium. We will see how our introduced ants from last time are doing. After all, did they go to war, or is peace declared between them? As we dive deep into this vivarium's hidden corners and cavities to observe the ants' secret interactions and cooperations. Other organisms will be in the spotlight as well, all the way to alien-looking plants that grows faster than bamboos on steroids, to small I don't know what the heck that animal is thingies. Ready your inner natural spirit, because this episode will have weird, disgusting, and fascinating moments, all happening in my luxuriant piece of nature. Welcome to the channel of Nordic Ants, and this is what happened in this lush piece of nature last time. We introduced a parasitic ant colony with black slave ants. We introduced small ant queens that lives in acorns. We introduced Europe's biggest ant species as well, and of course lots of different organisms that all would complete their role in this big complex vivarium. But did all ants get along? Did they create their nests accordingly? Well, let's have a look at the vivarium now, 2 weeks after it was created. Oh my god, have a look at this. You can't see much change for now, but so much has happened. Super cool spider webs, crazy new plants, and a new aphid population, and much more crazy inhabitants coming from nowhere. Oh, and I almost forgot, the ants. So let's take a deep breath now, because this is awesome. First of all, we need to find the Camponotus nest. Not that hard. You see all the sawdust all around the trunk I placed in the vivarium? Guess who's responsible for that? It didn't surprise me, since these guys are wood-loving and has majors with big mandibles, adapted to break, for example, wood. These girls have probably made a super cool tunnel network and super nice chambers for both the queen and the brood in this piece of wood. Pretty neat, don't you think? They are also as big as they are kind too. I've never seen them be aggressive, except just that time, but normally they only care for their secretions. Next nest to look for is the Lasius umbratus one. This colony actually consists of two species. It's a parasitic ant colony. There are yellow workers and black workers. The black ones are the one left from the colony that the yellow ant's queen killed. They are now considered as slaves and will soon be replaced by the yellow ants. I talk more about parasitic ant species in the video above. It's a pretty nice video, you should check it out. Well, I tried to lure them out by placing a drop of honey. Let's see. Nothing for now. All I wanted to see is a foraging worker eat and then return to the colony. Overall, this colony has been pretty discreet. It troubles me. When I introduced them 2 weeks ago, they were all over the honey. But then, 2 days later, I saw a yellow umbratus worker forage outside. She looked like she searched for something. She was definitely not interested in honey or insect flesh, as both had been provided for them. So what was missing? I reflected on the missing link when going to bed that night. As I woke up, it was evident. They needed aphids, of course, how could I have been so ignorant? So for you that does not know, ants has the ability to tend aphids. Aphids and ants lives in a so-called symbiosis, where the ants and the aphids work together. The aphids regurgitates a sweet liquid for the ants, and to thank the aphids, the ants defend them against predators. And this parasitic ant colony apparently is very specialized in tending aphids underground, on roots. Without even eating breakfast, I ventured out and got myself some aphids that I later placed in the vivarium. And I left, of course, a nice time lapse for you guys to observe what eventually happens. You can see right now that there's a lot of activity, but no ants. Aphids are moving back and forth, not knowing what to do, but then, all of a sudden, you can see parasitic ants arriving. There's at least 3 of them, and they're bringing the aphids back to their nest. Oh, look at this! You see the ant holding it? Then bringing it back to the nest. One more time. Up. Goodbye. This is awesome. If we're lucky, we'll be able to see these guys tend the aphids underground. And that's pretty cool, actually. So, I have to say that now these guys are doing amazing. I added some honey, and have a look how many Umbratus workers arrived. Before continuing, could someone please tell me what these guys are? It kinda bugs me that I don't know what these guys are. They are so present in my vivarium. The Umbratus workers are also now digging all around the vivarium. They're not alone, there are worms too, squeezing their way through. And now I have to mention the greatest diggers in this vivarium, my acorn ant colony. I seriously don't know if they are digging a nest since I can't see any brood or concentrated workforce. It might just be them foraging underground for mites and springtails. But they are everywhere underground. I have been searching for their nest, and let me tell you, it took some time, but I finally found at least one of them because they probably have a lot of different satellite nests all over the tank. So, can you see the pine there? Got it in focus for you. There's also an acorn worker on it. Well, they live in that. You can actually see the miniature sawdust beside the pine. Just like in their neighbor's garden, but I would actually say that it's much smaller. Have a look. Both these neighbors are pretty calm, actually. I don't know, I find it kind of ironic that acorn ants are living in a pine. Well, this colony, as said, is very active and is almost always present in some way when food is presented in the vivarium. They are as interested in sugars as in protein. Okay guys, check this out. In this corner of the vivarium I had a very green plant. I don't know why, but because of its greenness, it was the only plant that didn't survive. So I had the idea to plant some seeds. I don't know what plants they were, but whatever, why not? And already after 2 days, they closed and started to grow like crazy. Just after a little less than a week, they had grown higher than many other plants. They look so natural, yet alien-like, with their hairy roots just screwing their way downwards, and their almost green transparent look as well. I was truly astonished by their growth rate. Well, this is going great. I even decided to add more aphids into the vivarium. But instead of Umbratus workers, another ant species took advantage of the situation instead. This big Camponotus worker came with good intentions and started to tend the aphids. And then all of a sudden I managed to catch this something indescribable. The ant getting a drop of secretion from the aphid. Look carefully now. Can you see the tiny drop that is soon ejected from the aphid at the head of the ant? See the one there? Yeah. It's so cool, wait. And there, you see it, and it took the drop. Oh my god, this is so cool, I can't believe it happened in my vivarium. Look again. See the drop there, and pop. It sucked it up. I can't believe this. There's so much happening in so little space and time. I feel spoiled with all this beauty happening just in my room. This is the temperated complex vivarium, so I wonder what will happen when it goes to hibernation. And also when it starts to take life during spring once again. Anyways, we have now observed the entire vivarium and everything's fine. Let's do something. Let's add some ants. First to be added is an ant queen that I had some problems with. She is extremely tiny and has refused to lay any eggs in my test tube. She has been fed like a semi-claustral queen. Queens that need food during the colony founding process. And, as well, she has been kept undisturbed like a claustral queen. The contrary. Therefore, I assume that there's two possibilities. She might not be fertilized, or she might be a parasitic queen, just like the queens of the yellow ants. Wouldn't that be cool if there from nowhere started to appear ants from an entire different colony, gained a parasite ant queen? I decided to introduce her to the vivarium. Let's hope she managed to start a colony in some way. Next in is the promised thief ants. They have very cool habits that I hope I will manage to catch for you guys in this vivarium. These ants are called by me baby killers. See why in the video on the annotation above. They immediately started to move in, and I left of course a nice time lapse for you guys. Gosh, look how many they are. They're just pouring down there. It's so awesome to just at the same time see this quite important ant move, and then just beside them observe a random Camponotus worker, just casually eating some insect flesh. Huh, look at her, just having a good time on that stone. Oh, you might not want to go there, buddy. Oh, she's like a giant compared to the other ants. Look at them. Oh, what's she doing? She's like, never mind, there's just some pricks moving in. Yummy. After the thief ants moved in, I placed a big roach on top of their temporary nest. They immediately started to scavenge it. Ants are, after all, very good scavengers and fill an important role in nature doing so. These small ants are right now making tunnels in the roach, consuming as much as they can. That's pretty disgusting, yet pretty cool actually. Imagine yourself digging in food. Not that bad. This vivarium has surprised me actually, concerning its skills eating up dead insects. Here's a moth that was unfortunate to fly into the vivarium during night and died. Next day, I only saw this left of it. Wings. This might be the ants, but I don't know. It's interesting. From what I've seen, these ants own these lands and has always been the VIP customers on whatever food I add into it. But maybe, just maybe, some apex predators might have dodged my eyesight. This vivarium still has a lot to tell us. And until the next update, I hope all added inhabitants do well, because this vivarium will continue to do progress without my control. You can only watch, as nature does what it does the best. Survive. I'll see you on the next one. Dude, I love you. Can you please subscribe?